This lighting trick will save you a lot of time in post-production. Hello everybody, my name is Mark Bagnoli and today we look at a music video where they use different lighting techniques to create an interesting look, and after watching this video you should be able to shoot something like this. This is the first shot we're looking at, and as you can see we have this guitar player sitting on the table and we have a miniature version of him. How to create a shot like this that we have a seamlessly look without it looking fake. So first things first is I would always prefer to shoot this plate beforehand. What I mean with that, we want later him to be in this position. So it's much easier for everyone on set that we shoot this scene first, because now we know, okay, this is the final lighting. So we have some sort of feeling that we are outside. Then we have the strong side light from the side that illuminates the table a little bit. And now, after we shot this scene, I would go for the green screen. First thing first, when you have outdoor scenes, build your green screen also outside. It's much more easy to do it because you have already the same ambience. You have the sky, which also present in this scene. So this light you already have, and your green screen will always look better. Then choose a blue screen and not a green screen. The reason for it, I think for outdoor scenes, your green screen, blue screen always bounce a little bit. When you throw light at a color, you always see this little bit of green in the shadows that reflect. And I think blue is much more natural color. So it could be the sky, water in some way. So the bounce from a blue screen looks a lot nicer than a green screen. So when you're going for outside scene and want to have a more natural look, go with a blue screen. Then, okay, he is sitting in this situation. So we will prepare a block with also blue blanket over it. And then you let the actor sit on it with his guitar and play. Then, when we know this is the framing, we will recreate the same framing on our green screen studio with our camera and also use the same lens. So we have the same lens, the scene will feel similar. But also then in this scene particularly, it's not that easy because now you would have the same distance. So, but because you want to make him smaller, the compression will different. When doing a real scene where everything should have the same realistic size, use the same lens, the same distance that you shot to your actor, and then everything will look much better. A lot of people do green screen and throw in an 85mm so that the whole frame is filled, but that's counterproductive because when your main scene is shot on 20mm, 24mm, and then you want to put your actor in that is shot on 85mm, the compression differs and your shot will look not as clean as you hope. So now next thing, you have your ambient light, then you have your right settings, your right camera position. Now you only have to add one strong light, which gives him a hard light from the side, like here. And then you're already done. You created the same look, which probably you have, he's a little bit darker on this side and his box darker. Next scenes, maybe you put negative fill on the other side so that you get a little bit more contrasty. I even think they could have done it even more extreme with the key light, so that it just feels a little bit more like the sunlight, but all I think it works really great. Then the next thing, which is really difficult to do, but that's a problem of your VFX artist, is realistic shadows. They have to have the same saturation and opacity than the rest of it, but it's really difficult to recreate. Then we have this scene, which also has a pretty cool look in my opinion, and it doesn't look as big high budget. It looks really manageable for a small set, but the rules that you use are pretty similar. As you can see, we have this nice texture in the background. We don't have just this basic white backdrop, beige backdrop, blue backdrop. No, they choose a color that fit the theme with his clothes and the table, so the whole concept works. So I always tell you, background, clothes, the floor, everything is important for the scene. You just don't have your actor in a place and that's it. No, work with the colors, work with textures. Textures bring so much life to an image, and you see as how good everything looks because they choose these different textures that really works great with each other. Then also light your backgrounds. They still want this sunlight feeling. So they put a strong light in the background so that we get this nice light shape that also separates him a little bit more from the background. Then, as you can see, a little bit off frame, there's probably something like a light dome, which gives him this really nice backlight. So you can see, which really gives him this nice rim light all around the head and the shoulders and the arm. And then to this backlight, I think they have a small top light like an F22X or something like that. Also lights up the head a little bit and the shoulders, but it also could be that the backlight is really nice wrapping around him. Then the last thing they've probably done here, this looks pretty soft, but it gives me softbox feeling because it's really punchy. They probably did something like in 600D with an 150 light dome as a key light, then maybe a bit of neck fill on this side. Done. A pretty easy look to do with the most common lights everyone has, but it works nice and looks cool because they go really for hard, punchy exposure and used a lot of different textures and colors. Here also a nice mix of colors, backgrounds, foregrounds. So here again, this backdrop, it's a painterly backdrop that's just not one solid color. It tells a story, it gives a look, and also here the mixture of see how much flowers they got and just put them off frame and on the edge of the frame. And because they have this nice curve, it really centers our view on the actor. And always try to find leading lines. Here the mountain also brings our eyes to the actor. These flowers and create a really nice circle around, and so we don't have an opportunity to look somewhere else, because every decision the cinematographer, the set designer, the director choose, and probably the artist lend to, that we just look at him. Also really nice. I'm always a fan of using different types of aspect ratio. They go here for an open gate look. So when you shoot in Alexa, Venice, Panasonic systems, where you use the full sensor and are more on this square-like feeling, which is really a nice look. It also works for 9:16 content, so it's universal usable. And it's just a cool look, I think, because it also feels very like a portrait. So if you enjoyed this video, I really would appreciate a subscription from you. My name is Marco Bagnoli, and see you next time.